Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the algae, the thallophytes. There we have discussed about the subgroups also, which were chlorophyceae, the green algae, phaeophyceae, the brown algae, and the rhodophyceae, the red algae. Today, we'll discuss about the bryophytes. As these bryophytes within the classification pattern, it is placed next to the thallophytes. So obviously their body are much more complex than to the thallophytes. As do we have discussed in the classification pattern, the organisms coming afterwards, they are having much more complexity as compared to the organisms present in the previous group. So the bryophytes, they are having complex body structure as compared to the thallophytes. These bryophytes, they mostly grow within the shaded areas having high amount of moisture, dampness, as well as they are also known as the amphibians of the plant kingdom. As do we know, the amphibians of the animal kingdom, they require water to fulfill their sexual mode of reproduction. So just do like these bryophytes, they also require water to complete their sexual mode of reproduction. These bryophytes, they also help to colonize on the bare rocks and helps to grow the next generation of plants. If we go for their body, the body is also thallus-like. Just do we have discussed in the case of algae, as in the algae the body was thalloid-like, means we can't differentiate the plant body into root, stems or leaves. We are having the structures, the frond, the stipe. These types of structures were present within the algae. Just do like in the case of bryophytes, the plant body cannot be differentiated into true root or true stems or true leaves like structures, but they are having structures resembling root like, for example the rhizoids, which help to adhere them, to attach to them to the substratum, and these rhizoids may be unicellular or multicellular. They may be leaf like, they may be having the leaf like structures, stem like structures, but they are lacking the true leaves, true root and true stem. So obviously we just now do we have discussed, they are placed within the classification system after the thallophytes. So the complexity has increased up to much more than to the thallophytes. The body, it grows prostrate or it may be erect, means it may grow horizontally to the substratum, means prostrate, or it may be erect, attached to the substratum to the help of rhizoids. Now if we'll go for the reproduction pattern and the main plant body, the main plant body of bryophytes, they are haploid in nature, means they are having a single set of genes, and the plant body is known as gametophytes. As the main plant body produces the gametes, so it is called as gametophyte. As do we know, in the sexual reproduction there is the need of male gamete and female gamete. They both fuses together and they form the structure which is zygote. So just do like here also in the case of sexual reproduction within the bryophytes, the structures which are present, we may go through across that the sex organs within the bryophytes, they are multicellular. The sex organs which bear male sex organs are called as antheridium, as do we use the word anther within the angiospermic flowers or higher group of plants in which we study the structure of flower. Their anthers do we discuss, which is having the male gamete within it. So just the same word do we use here, antheridium. Whereas the female gamete, it is the archegonium, and the antheridium, it produces anthrozoites. These anthrozoites, they are biflagellated motile structures. Whereas the archegonium, it is flask-shaped and it produces a single egg. So as the anthrozoites, they are motile, they move within the water and they fertilizes within this single egg cell to form the zygote. So as do we know, during the sexual reproduction, the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete, zygote is formed and which is diploid in structure. Just do the same case. Here we may also observe by the fusion of the anthrozoites with the archegonium that the zygote is formed which is diploid in structure. But what is the case? That the zygote which is diploid in structure, and we have discussed the main plant body, it is haploid in structure, means it is gametophytic in nature. So what it requires, the zygote should be reduced to form haploid plant body, but this doesn't happen immediately. First of all, zygote divides repeatedly to form multicellular structure which is called as sporophyte, and these sporophytes is very much specific in the case how that these sporophytes, they are dependent upon the gametophytes, means the sporophytes, they grow upon these gametophytic plants, they derive their nutrition from these gametophytes. For the nutrition is concerned, the gametophyte, this main plant body, provides the nutrition to the sporophytes. After some time, some cells of the sporophyte, they undergoes meiotic division, means reductional division, means the number is reduced of the chromosome and they form the spores. So some cells which undergoes the meiotic division of the sporophyte plant body, they goes through the meiotic division, they produces the spores, and afterwards it germinate and it forms again the main plant body which is the gametophyte. So here do we may go through that the main plant body in the case of bryophyte is the haploid in nature, which is the gametophyte plant body which is photosynthetic in nature, upon which the sporophyte plant body survives. It gets its nourishment from the gametophyte for its nutrition, and after certain time this sporophyte, certain cells, they divide, reductional division. Through the reductional division they form the spores and then it germinates to form the gametophyte plant body. Regarding their economic importance is concerned, they are of little economic importance, but still some mosses, they provide food for the herbaceous mammals, birds and other animals, as well as the species of sphagnum, which is a moss. It provides the peat which has been used since from long time as a source of fuel, as well as the sphagnum, it is also used as a packing material for transshipment of living material because it is having the capability to hold water. Regarding the mosses, which are bryophytes, and the lichens do we know, which are the association or symbiotic association between the algae and fungi. These mosses and lichens, they are the first members to colonize bare rocks to make it suitable for the growth of next generation of life forms. So they play a great role in the ecological system, as well as they decompose rocks, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. And since these mosses, as do we observe during the rainy season, if they grow very easily upon any piece of land, they also prevent soil erosion by forming dense mat-like structure upon the soil, which reduces the impact of falling rain, due to which the soil, it gets reduced in the part of erosion, or the erosion of the soil, it gets reduced and thus prevents soil erosion. So we have to discuss within the bryophytes the liverworts and mosses. Let us take a quick recapitulation regarding the characteristics of bryophytes. The most important part do we have discussed. The main plant body of bryophyte is haploid in nature, which is the gametophyte, and due to reason it produces gametes. It is photosynthetic in nature. We have discussed it bears the sex organs, which are multicellular in structure. Antheridium, which produces the male gamete, the anthrozoites, which are biflagellate in structure and motile, whereas the archegonium, which is the female structure, it within the flask-shaped structure a single egg cell is produced, and the fusion of the anthrozoites, the male gamete to the female gamete, it produces the zygote, which is a diploid structure, and this diploid structure, it doesn't undergoes reductional division immediately. First of all, it divides repeatedly to form a multicellular structure, which is the sporophyte phase, and this sporophyte phase, it is dependent upon the gametophytic plant body, means it derives the nutrition from the gametophyte plant body. After a certain time, some cells undergoes meiotic division to form the spores, and these spores, while germinating, they form the gametophyte, or that is the main plant body. Now we'll discuss about the liverworts. As do we have discussed, these bryophytes, they grow within the moist shady areas. So just like do the liverworts, they are the members of the bryophytes. They grow within the moist shady habitats, such as the banks of the streams, or maybe the marshy grounds, or damp soil, or upon the barks of the trees, whereas on the deep in the woods also. If we go for the plant body of the liverworts, plant body, as do we have discussed, the bryophytes, they are having thalloid like body, means thallus like body, means we may have discussed the body cannot be differentiated into true stems, leaves and root, but presence of root-like, stem-like and leaf-like structures may be present. For example, we may see in the diagram that these root-like structures, which resembles like root, they are present within the thallus, and these are called as rhizoids. As do we have discussed, they are unicellular or multicellular in structure, and they are attached to the substratum. As the liverworts they are concerned, they are dorsiventrally appressed to the substrate, means they go dorsiventrally appressed to the substratum and they grow in the dorsiventral position. The leafy members have tiny leaf-like appendages. So if the member of the liverworts, they are leafy in nature, then they have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structures. So that is the characteristic feature of the leafy members of the liverworts. If we go for the part of reproduction, the liverworts, they reproduces through fragmentation method, that is a mode of asexual method of reproduction, means each of the fragment of the thallus will develop into a new individual, and as well as they also forms a specialized structures called gamma or gamma cups. Gamma within the gamma cups, as we may see in the picture within the thallus, the gamma cups are being observed within the gamma cups. These gamma, they grow, they are green, multicellular, asexual buds and which develop in small receptacles. So these are the gamma cups, which are, we can say, they are the structures in which gamma will develop. They are the asexual buds and they develop within the gamma cups located on the thalli, and the gamma becomes detached from the parent body and germinates to form new individuals. So the reproduction, this is the characteristic feature of the liverworts. They reproduces through gamma, which is formed within the gamma cups within the small receptacle like structures, and they are multicellular in structure. They are the asexual buds. If we go for the sexual reproduction, they also reproduces sexually, and during the sexual reproduction, the male and female sex organs, they are produced either on the same or on the different thalli. For example, in this thallus, we may observe it is bearing archegoniophore, which means it will produce the female gamete. Just like in certain thalli, it bears anthridiophore. So as we have discussed in the initial part, anthridiophore will form the anthrozoites, which are the male gametes. As by the fusion of the male and female gametes, they forms the sporophyte phase, which is the diploid phase. And as we have discussed that the plant body of the bryophytes, the main plant body is gametophytic in nature, means they are haploid in nature. So these sporophytes, they are having these certain types of structures, having the foot, the seta or the stalk-like structure, and the capsule within which the spores are enclosed. And as spores have been formed within the capsule after the reductional division, means the meiotic division had occurred within these capsules to form the spores, which will germinate to form again the gametophytic plant body, which would be haploid in nature. So this is the diagram of Marchantia, which we may observe archegoniophore has been shown here, gamma cups has been shown here, which is we can say part or which helps to develop the asexual buds, through which it helps in the reproduction part, as well as the rhizoids, which helps to adhere to the substratum. So let us take a brief look regarding the reproduction pattern within the liverworts. They reproduces asexually through fragmentation. Each of the fragment, it develops into a new individual, just like it also forms gamma within the special structures which are called as gamma cups within the thalli, and within these gamma, we may say they are the detachable parts which detaches itself from the parent body and germinates to form the new individuals. And whereas the sexual reproduction, it too takes place by the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete and the sporophyte which is formed, and within the structure that the sporophyte, it is having the foot, seta and capsule like structures. Within the capsule, after undergoing through the meiotic division, spores are formed, and as the spores they are released, they are released into the nature, they germinate to form again the gametophytic plant body, which is haploid in nature. Now we'll discuss about the next member within the bryophytes, which are the mosses. As we have discussed in the initial part, the main plant body of the bryophytes are gametophytic plant body, means they are haploid in nature. So just do like within the mosses also, the predominant stage is the gametophyte stage, means it is haploid in nature. And this gametophyte plant body, it consists of again two stages. The first stage is the protonema stage, which develops directly from the spore, as we have discussed in the part of reproduction within the bryophytes we have discussed as how the anthrozoites, it fuses with the archegonium, that the egg cell means the male gametes fuses with the female gametes, it forms the zygote and it forms a multicellular stage. After certain time we have discussed, they were forming the spores, and after going through the meiotic division, and then they were forming the individual gamete or gametophyte plant stage. So these protonema, they directly develops from the spores. They are the creeping stage, means they creeps on the ground. They are green, branched stage and filamentous stage. Whereas the second stage, which is the leafy stage, which develops from the protonema stage, means as the protonema it grows and then it develops into leafy stage. It develops from the secondary protonema, which is upright in position, having cylinder axis and spirally arranged leaves, means the leaves would be arranged within the axis and it would be spirally arranged in a spiral form. Just like do the spiral axis, the leaves would be arranged within the main cylinder axis. This leafy stage, they are attached to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. So we have discussed that these rhizoids, they are the special structures which look like roots. They help to anchor to the substratum, they help to anchor to the soil, and this stage it bears the sex organs. We have to be specific. The protonema stage, it doesn't bears the sexual organs. It develops directly from the spore, and it, as going through the, we may say, the asexual reproduction, it transforms into leafy stage, and this leafy stage it bears the sexual organs. So as far the reproduction is concerned, vegetative production in mosses takes place by the process of fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. And in sexual reproduction, the sex organs that we have discussed, the sexual organs, they are present only in the leafy stage, and that it bears the antheridium, which bears the male gamete, and the archegonium, which bears the female gamete. They are produced at the apex of the leafy stage, and as the fertilization took place by the fusion of the male gamete to the female gamete, the zygote, which is a diploid stage, it develops into a sporophyte consisting of a foot, seta or stalk, and capsule. So these sporophytes, they are much more elaborate and much more complex structures as compared to the liverworts that we have discussed just before that. And the sporophyte within the mosses, they contains these structures which we have discussed, the foot, seta and spores. And the capsule contains the spores which are formed after the meiotic division, which is the reductional division. So the spores which are formed within the capsule, they takes place after the reductional division, and that after that the capsule, when it bursts, the spores, they are released out, and after getting the proper condition, they germinate and they again form the new individual, which is a gametophytic plant body. So as we have discussed within the part that the bryophytes, the liverworts and mosses, the main difference between the liverworts and mosses is that in the case of liverworts, we have discussed about the gamma cups, which were the special structures present within the liverworts, having present within the thalli and having the receptacles, whereas in the case of mosses, they bear the protonema, which are directly produced from the spore, and the leafy stage, which is the secondary protonemal stage. And the protonema, it doesn't bear the sexual organs, whereas the leafy stage, it bears the sexual organs, and after going through the sexual reproduction, it forms the sporophytic phase, and these sporophytes, they bears the capsule. Within the capsule, the spores are formed that are formed by the reductional division or the meiotic division, and after the bursting of the capsules, the spores, they get dispersed and they After finding suitable place, they germinate and again they form the individual gametophytic plant body, which is haploid in nature. So, till so far here, we have discussed about the bryophytes. Thank you. Have a nice day.